Well, I think it's fair to say 2018 has been a very busy year in Washington. In the spirit of Christmas, we wanted to put together a list of who's been naughty and who's been nice. That one's very short.
I was going to say, like, you got enough paper?
So let's get to the point with Chris Cillizza, CNN politics reporter and editor-at-large. So is the naughty list longer?
It could have been. Due to producer demands, I kept them relatively even.
Oh, good.
Also, I don't have my white beard, my Santa beard.
I did a whole piece on
That's a missed opportunity. Let's
real
leave it at that.
beard Santas versus
Fake beard Santas?
Well, I don't want to talk about it. You know, it's Christmas morning, but there's a whole thing. Real beard Santas is a real thing. Trust me on this. I want to start
Oh, I do.
on the nice list. I'm going to start on the nice list here. The covered first spot, I understand from my notes here, is Michelle Obama.
Yeah, so nice and naughty is sometimes in the eye of the beholder, but I think Michelle Obama, broadly speaking, had a very nice year. First of all, she's probably the most popular politics-adjacent figure in the country. She's not a politician, she's never run for anything, but I have said for a long time, I think we all agree, if she did ever want to run for something, she would be right at the front of the line. Obviously, her memoir came out. She's spoken out a little bit more about Donald Trump. She's spoken about her own experiences and her own marriage, and I think has helped a lot of people in talking about struggles she has had. So I'm going to put her, both for political and personal reasons, on the nice list.
I will say she is the only person who actually gives the Sherman-esque answer to, are you going to run?
Yes, which
she
is...
says no, not now, not ever,
drafted.
never.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, which... Yeah, it's true. Her husband once famously said, I wasn't interested in running I just, as somebody who covers politics, I've seen it happen enough that people who say no sometimes change. I would agree with you, Mr. Berman. It is very, very, very unlikely.
Yeah.
But if she did, she would be a force to
Interesting.
His next column is she's running. I mean, that's he's like taking
That's it, 2019.
You're not fooling me.
2019.
All right, your next pick is a strange one for the nice list, funerals.
Okay.
Explain.
Yeah, you don't usually think of, oh, funeral, that was really fun. And I don't mean fun as much as I mean what we saw at John McCain's funeral and then George H.W. Bush's funeral is a celebration of the possibility of politics being different than it is right now. You had speeches that were given sometimes by Democrats and sometimes by Republicans. You had a coming together, broadly speaking, of the political community to say, look, I didn't agree with John McCain and everything, or I didn't agree with George H.W. Bush, but this is someone who is a fundamentally decent person who cared deeply about this country and tried his best to help make it a better place. Unfortunately, those are sort of oases in the broader political desert to which we are in. But I do think those moments, and I think they reach beyond just people like me, a political crowd. I think they reached a broader crowd to remind people that politics can be a noble pursuit.
All right, you went out on a limb for pick number 3 on the nice list. You say puppies, basically, or dogs.
Yeah, great year for dogs. H.W. Bush's dog, Sully, got more television time than me.
I took a selfie with Sully.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big celebrity now. I'm a little bit jealous
You're
of
just
the
mad at her
dog.
bookers, but that's
I am. And by the way, bet you didn't know this. Do you know who got a new dog in 2018? Ostensible 2020 Democratic frontrunner Joe Biden got a new dog. I'll be doing a long piece analyzing the implications of his dog choice name, Major, as it relates to his presidential candidate.
Interesting.
Good year to be a dog. 2018, the year of the dog.
Can we move on to your naughty list?
Absolutely, please.
Okay, number 1, Paul Manafort.
Yeah, so to your earlier point, the naughty list could be a lot longer than this, but that graphic only fits 3. So, yeah, Paul Manafort. So he was convicted of 8 counts by a jury of his peers. A lot of people like to forget that. This is not a Democratic thing, jury of his peers. Then he pled guilty in the Mueller proceeding. Then he broke his guilty plea by lying to the Mueller special counsel and back-channeling information to Trump. So it's lying on top of lying. It is literally lying liars, and he is going to jail, unless Donald Trump pardons him, which I think would be hugely politically problematic, but he is going to jail for a not insignificant amount of time. My guess is Manafort is the one out of all of this who spends the most actual time in jail.
So why are House Republicans on the naughty list?
Because they never figured out a way to deal with Donald Trump. On its face, they're on the naughty list because they went from the majority to the minority. They're going to be in the minority in 2019. The minority in the House is the worst possible place to be. You really can't do anything. A member of the minority in the Senate, you can block some things, get some things done. House minority, very difficult. And I think the reason for it is the suburbs, is their inability to figure out how close should we be to President Trump? Can we distance ourselves? Should we distance ourselves? They didn't really act. And by not acting, I think they doomed themselves. So I always remind people, Congress is a separate branch of government that is set up to offer checks and balances on the executive and to interact with the judicial. They have not conceived themselves outside of Donald Trump's whims and vagaries, and I think they paid the price.
Number 3, you have Cynthia Nixon. What did she do?
Okay, this should be number 1. Okay?
Whoa.
And I'm going to tell you why, and as New Yorkers, you can identify with this. Cynthia Nixon, as many people know, ran an unsuccessful primary campaign against Andrew Cuomo for governor in New York as a Democrat. In the course of that campaign, she is shown going into a deli and ordering the following: lox on a cinnamon raisin bagel.
You're right. That's
I mean,
horrible.
that's like a history's greatest monster type of
Is
situation.
it? Of all of the high crimes and misdemeanors this year, that one ranks at the top to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's number 1 with a bullet. You can't do that.
Yes.
It's just plain, forget the politics of bagel ordering. That's like John Kerry, by the way, ordering, asking what kind of cheese came with his steak and cheese. But you can't order lox in a cinnamon raisin bagel.
No.
It's not right. Nature frowns upon lox in a cinnamon raisin bagel. We should all come together to condemn that kind of bagel ordering. It's not right, and I won't stand for it.
Yeah, you've made a good case.
Thank you.
Unity. That is something we can all agree on.
Right, it's bipartisan unity. Donald Trump, well, I don't know. He might order a cinnamon raisin bagel.
Wasn't there
with
like
He
the
ate pizza with a fork and knife.
Yeah, the pizza with a knife and fork. That's like Obama wearing the tan suit. I mean, these are things that just not
that are unacceptable.
When I remember Cynthia Nixon's gubernatorial campaign, it will be for that disastrous bagel order.
Wow. All right.
And I am not alone.
No. We
Chris
see
Cillizza.
how strongly you feel about this. All right.
Merry Christmas.
Here
There's a
with
lot of
you.
singing.
Merry freaking Christmas.
We did it.
Yeah.
Next year, I'll have the Santa beard.
Okay.
It'll be real.